Hello, my name is Michelle, and you're listening to Profit is a Choice. Let's talk more about burnout. Last month, we looked at being burned out and looking for inspiration in different ways. But this month, I want to speak about being exhausted in all the ways, mentally, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually, and what we can do about it. Enjoy the podcast. Every day, empowered entrepreneurs are taking ownership of their company financial health and enjoying the rewards of reduced stress and more creativity. With my background as a financial software developer, owner of multiple businesses in the interior design industry, educator, and speaker, I coach women in the interior design industry to increase their profits, regain ownership of their bottom line, and to have fun again in their business. Welcome to Profit is a Choice. There have been multiple times during the course of running a business for me for the past 22 years that I have just been exhausted. Some of these were very critical times, like in 2012, when I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic as an adult and told that I needed bypass surgery on my right arm so that I could keep it functioning due to reduced blood flow. But there have also been those times of exhaustion that were created after my team and I had met a big deadline. Maybe we had hosted an event or produced a product or, completed some big project. You know how you feel after a whole house install or a marathon shopping session at market? Exhaustion can happen even when we're doing what we love. And it's easy to just keep pushing through. I know I'm guilty of that. Lately, I've been monitoring my health using some of the technology that exists in my Apple Watch and my Apple phone. It is really amazing how much information is available there if we want to take a look at it. I also wear a Dexcom, which is a consistent glucose monitoring system to keep track of my blood sugar at any time. So with all of this technology, I can really see what's happening in my body kind of in real time. And so then the challenge becomes, am I going to use that to my advantage? One of the apps that I use, let me see if I can find the name of it really quick. It is called Welltory, Welltory. And I have that one on my phone from the Apple store. And it literally comes up and says, like, you're exhausted or your stress level is here. And it's just monitoring from my watch. But what's so interesting is when I go back and look at how I was feeling, I can tell I was tired or depleted or whatever. So if you have access to any of the small things like that, there's also like something I think is called an Oura ring. I've not tried that one yet, but that might be next on my list. Once I realized that I could see in metrics, that's a big deal for me. But when I could see in metrics what was happening in my body, then I kind of felt like it wasn't just in my mind, but it really kind of gave voice to what was happening. So if we're thinking about that in our business and in our health, there are metrics, there are numbers, there are things happening that are showing us the story of that particular area, whether it is our business finances or marketing or whether it's our own health. So if we're going to take a moment to look at those, I want to share with you 3 signs. There are many more, but these are 3 big signs that you could be experiencing some form of exhaustion. The first is lack of physical or mental energy. You can't think, you're tired. Or I know sometimes I'll think to myself, I really want to go in there and have this great meal or do this next thing. And then I think about the energy it's going to take me to do it. And I don't want to do it. The second is difficulty sleeping. Either you're sleeping too much or you're not sleeping, because usually if we sleep too much, it's because we're not getting good rest, or you're not sleeping enough, which is resulting in you being more tired. And then another one is just difficulty concentrating. I almost say that when I get into times of exhaustion, I almost feel like I have created ADD within myself. I just can't concentrate, or people have to tell me things multiple times for it to click because my mind's just not there. If you're feeling any of these things, here are a few ways that I want to suggest maybe you could rest, recharge, and hit the reset button. When I tell you these three, you're going to know them. Like I know them and you know them. But knowing them in our head and knowing them in our heart and putting them into practice are different things. And when you are taking care of yourself in this way, you're actually taking care of the business, because nobody needs an owner or a manager or a leader who's scattered and tired and grumpy and just overwhelmed. Like they don't need us to show up like that. That's really not a good example that we want to set for the team that we're leading. So here's some things that you can do. First, recognize that you're tired. Like I know sometimes I'll say it, I just push. And finally I have to go, okay, I'm done. I am exhausted. So recognizing that you're tired is probably one of the number one keys. I know I can be guilty of saying, oh, if I could just make it to Friday, or if I can just make it to the end of this project, or 2 more weeks and this will be over. But what happens is when, and sometimes it's true, right? But if I am always working for the next thing like that, at some point, there's always going to be one, or I'm going to make one up. And maybe you do that. So the second thing that we have to do after we recognize that we're tired is really focus on getting good sleep. So create the environment that you need for rest. Go to bed early, reduce your schedule so that you can relax. Take a shower, a bath, read a book, whatever you need. I just want to encourage you not to feel guilty for resting. Sometimes I am my most tired when it is a mental tired, not when I am physically doing something. The mental tired, it's a real thing. Honestly, just even having to make so many decisions that you all are having to make right now is overwhelming. And I want to acknowledge that. The third thing to do is to build exercise back in. And that might sound counterproductive because you're so tired, but getting everything moving, it actually reproduces the blood flow throughout the body. It releases endorphins, and it's going to help you. I know it sounds exhausting. I know when I'm so tired, the last thing I want to do is think, oh, wow, why don't I go to the gym and do a workout? So what I do is I start slowly by just walking. So if I've been sitting at my desk for long stretches of time working, I make sure that I put on some shoes that, if nothing else, walk the block. Just get outside, get some fresh air, and walk a little bit. And then the better you feel, the more you can move into a more full workout whenever you're ready for that. And then the fourth thing is just to consider diet changes. When I am busy, my diet goes by the wayside. And so I start grabbing what's easy or what's in my range of motion, or I skip meals altogether. My kids make fun of me a lot, and they always tell me, Mom, you could live on 2 almonds and a piece of cheese. And while that's not true, they do make great snacks for me. Those are kind of my go-tos. Is they'll say, what'd you have for lunch? And I'll say, oh, I had a handful of almonds and a piece of cheese. And so that's why they give me a hard time about that. But that's not healthy all day, every day. And I know that. And you know that. So you all know what you're choosing to grab. And it's just because we're so busy. But each of us is different. And I do want to say, if your exhaustion is not something that you're able to manage on your own with diet and exercise and getting a good sleep pattern going, or shifting your calendar around to slow the roll, please make sure to consult your doctor. There could also be underlying issues to your exhaustion and tiredness. I personally deal with thyroid issues. And so I know if I'm just unable to keep going, that I probably need to get those levels checked. Please give yourself grace. Many of my clients have shared lately that their teams have been so busy for probably the last year and a half. We've all tried to adjust to the influx of requests by working harder and longer and hiring more people to meet the demand and changing our processes and doing all the things. And yeah, while I know we tried to work smarter, there was still a heck of a lot of work going on. So much so that now work can be leveling out or slowing down a notch, which could be very normal and very good for us. But now we are creating kind of an anxiety that we don't have enough work. And so we just have to really take a step back and realize running a business is hard. It just is. I'm speaking to you as much as I'm speaking to myself. We have to build in time to rest and to relax and to reset and not be working at such a breakneck speed all of the time. And when you do this on an ongoing basis, you're going to feel better, lead more effectively, and your business is going to move forward with more peace. July is my big relax and reset. I usually try to take 2 weeks off together to unwind. Week 1 is when I do the unwinding. And then week 2, I like to start thinking and strategizing. But in the in-between times in the year, I need to remind myself that a day here and there expertly placed on my calendar can sometimes prevent exhaustion before it occurs. And if you're feeling this way, your team might be feeling this way too. I hope you're finding time during the season of busy to just take a break. After you reset, if you want to discuss how working with my team and I can assist you in creating a business that runs more smoothly and effectively while being financially profitable, please complete a discovery form on the Work With Me page of my website at scarlettthreadconsulting.com. I would love to support you and your company growth. So choose to rest to be at your best. That sounds like a good tagline, doesn't it? Choose to rest to be at your best, because that creates profitability. And we all know that profit doesn't happen by accident. Profit is a Choice is proud to be part of the designnetwork.org, where you can discover more design media reaching creative listeners. Thanks for listening, and stay creative and business minded.